All right. Game one is in the books, guys. What might have been the weirdest, strangest season opening game that I have ever seen in my 20 plus years of watching football. I have never seen anything like it. Um, Before the game even started, Jalen Carter, inexplicable actions. Um, when I had first seen it, my initial reaction was just pure shock and disgust. Like, why on earth would you do this? Besides the Super Bowl, the opening drive of the first game of the regular season, you probably don't have more eyes on you than Jalen Carter did at that moment, and he decided to do what he did, and then walked off with a smile. Like you got a ref on this side, 1,000 people, a thousand cameras, millions of people watching on this side, and you decide to hawk spit on a player, bro. Now I get it. I hate Dak Prescott. I hate anything with a star on the side of their helmet. But that's just plain stupid and it's plain disgusting. And I had never instantly lost respect for a player as fast as I did in that moment. Like my reaction came down a little bit once they showed later in the game that Dak actually spit at him first. But the actions are still extremely unacceptable. Like as important are as you are to our defense, you can't put yourself in those positions. You can't make those decisions. And it's like this is really the guy that we are planning on making one of the highest paid defensive players in the leagues coming up soon. Like he's about to get a record contract for an interior defensive lineman. And that type of irresponsibility, it really make me look at things a little bit differently when it comes to Jalen Carter. Like you only proven people right about what they be saying about you. Like they already call you, you know, irresponsible, immature. You failed to us in the draft because your actions literally led to the death of one of your teammates. And now you sit here and you do this. You just proving them right. Like this is going to be a storyline. If not for the next couple of weeks, it might be a storyline for the whole season, depending on how things go. I couldn't even imagine. I couldn't even imagine had we lost that game. If we lost that game, I don't know how I would have ever. I ain't gonna say I would have never forgave him. That's a little extreme, but nobody would have ever forgot about this shit, bro. Like you could just. It was evident in the way that they took the ball and they just went down the field, scored 7 instantly. Like his loss was it immediately felt right, and it's just crazy. But one thing I can say is that the offense didn't look great, but they did respond. Like they didn't falter at all. They went down and they responded. They put up 7. You know what I mean? Um, Now the questions moving forward are the questions that we had coming into the game, which is what is our cornerbacks going to do? Adoree Jackson got deep fried all night. All night got cooked. Quinyon Mitchell got beat a couple times. He had a pass interference. Uh, Even Cooper DeJean, I seen Cooper DeJean get beat. Like, luckily Dak dropped the ball, but that fade that he ran in the fourth quarter, he got cooked, bro. So, excuse me. This secondary, man, we gonna have to get it together. Like, we got to get it together, bro. Like, hopefully some adjustments get made. Maybe Jacorian Bennett comes along, but Adoree Jackson is 150% not the answer here. Like, it's just not gonna work. Um, I think Jalen Hurts played a great game. Could have been better. He only threw for 152 yards, but he was 19 of 23. One of his passes was a drop. I mean, one of his incompletions was a drop. He only took one sack on a second down. Um, and he threw an absolute dot to Jahan Dotson. I am kind of curious about why AJ Brown wasn't involved in the game. He only had one reception, and I think that was in the third or fourth quarter. It was after the rain delay. Um, I think he may be still hurt. Like he dealt with a hamstring all off season, all preseason, and maybe he was just out there as a decoy. But yeah, one reception for 8 yards is like that's pretty alarming. I'm gonna say the least. Um, Dawson looked like his role is going to be increased from last year, which is a good thing. Uh, but we gotta figure out what's going on with that. And now it is week one, so I'm not trying to overreact either way about anything that I'm saying right now. It's only week one, so I'm going to take everything with a grain of salt. But yeah, I hope this isn't what we're in for with this new offensive coordinator that we got here. Um, Kind of yesterday's game kind of looked like a Brian Johnson game from 2 years ago, and that's not gonna work. Like we're gonna have to do better when it comes to that. The defense just didn't look great. Period. They did make some adjustments after the half, you know which I will give them credit for that. They didn't score in the second half. Um, so I think we do have the potential to be like, pretty good. Zach Bond played well. Uh, Jahad Campbell played very well for his first game. Um, but that cornerback two position and that safety position got to get fixed and got to get fixed immediately. Sidney Brown also looks like he is not the answer. He couldn't even make it a quarter without getting hurt. He just flies around and throws his body around, which is great if you can withstand that. But obviously, your body can't keep up with your style of play. So he's not going to be the answer there. Like we gotta figure that out too. Hurts had a much more efficient game than Dak did. Dak went 21 of 34 for 188 yards. So he had more yardage, but he's like somewhere around like 60 something, like 60, maybe like 63, 64%. I can't do the math in my head, but it's somewhere around there. Um, no touchdowns. I would probably take the efficiency of Hurts's 152 yards over the inefficiency of Dak's. Obviously, Dak and CD would have had more yardage if CD wouldn't have dropped those three passes. So, I mean, but you could play the what if game all day long. Uh, like, who would you rather be? Would you rather be AJ Brown, who had one reception, one target for one reception, and got the dub? Or would you rather be CeeDee Lamb, who had 110 yards, but you dropped three passes, which pretty much sealed your fate? You took an L because you dropped the pass. Like if he had caught any of those passes, we might be having a completely different conversation right now. Like that's the bottom line. Like I don't like doing the hypotheticals, but if you want to play what if he catches any of those passes, whether it be that one against Cooper DeJean on the sideline, whether it be that one or across the middle that bounced up in the air, whatever it is, if he had caught any of those, we could be having a completely different conversation right now. As far as their running back room, uh, Javonte Williams had a pretty good game, 54 yards and two touchdowns off of 15 carries. If you took two touchdowns for him in a parlay, that payout had to be amazing. I wouldn't have called that one. Miles Sanders had a 50-yard run. Sucks to see him with a star on his helmet, but hey, it's up. You switch sides, and he was talking mad crazy during the offseason. He said it was personal. Then he fumbled the ball like a head ass. You know what I'm saying? So you know, you chose your side, buddy. Um, that was the only turnover of the game. So other than that turnover, other than like I feel like we spotted them 7 points because I feel like the shock of losing Jalen Carter right before the first snap gave them 7 points basically. Like they went down and scored with ease right after that happened. Um, but other than that, the game was pretty even. Um, Philly led the time of possession by about 10 minutes, which is good. The yardage was about even, 302 for Philly to 307 for Dallas. Where we did get hurt, where we did hurt ourselves, was the penalty yardage. All of the unsportsmanlikes and the unnecessary roughness. We had 9 penalties for 110 yards compared to their 4 penalties for 42 yards. So we got to clean that up. Third downs, we were about the same. 8 for 13 for Philly, 7 for 11 for Dallas. Philly had 20 first downs. The Dallas is 22 first downs. So everything was like pretty even, other than that turnover and just the drops from CD. Like that was just the way the cookie crumbled last night. I feel like both teams could have played better. Obviously, it's not a surprise that the Eagles could have played better, but I think a lot of people are surprised at how well Dallas played. You know, now going into the game, I was telling people don't be fooled by the Vegas line of 8 points. I would have never taken 8 points, and a lot of people think that Jalen Carter getting kicked out was a Vegas play. Because that's a super suspicious line. I mean, I understand we're Super Bowl champs. I understand what Dallas is going through, but at the end of the day, it's week one. It's a division game. Like I would have never, you know what I mean? I would have never went with that spread. It's just silly. But I do think we probably would have won by multiple touchdowns. Had a couple of things gone a little differently. Um, some things that stood out to me, definitely Jahad Campbell. Jahad Campbell is for real. Against the run, in coverage, and rushing the passer. Like he's a dog. I feel like our players from last year, like our breakout players, like Zach Bond, like that wasn't a 1 year thing. Like he was all over the field last night. Like he made a lot of plays. A lot of plays away from the ball. Like his coverage was great last night. So there's that. But yeah, I don't want to get too deep into stuff any deeper than I did. We'll be doing a full like I guess episode later. Where we'll get a little more in depth with things. But I did want to do a quick reaction to that game last night. I wanted to do a video last night after the game, but with how late it ended because of the rain delay, and me already being faded, like, it's week one, man. I had threw food on the grill, had the whiskey open, you know what I mean? So trying to record last night probably wasn't the best idea. Um, but yeah, I just had to get on here and give my thoughts real quick. Tonight we got another game. We got the Chiefs playing the Chargers in Brazil. I'll be giving my take on that game later. Spoiler alert, I don't think the Chargers have much of a chance here. And then we'll be playing Kansas City next week. We'll be touching on that one too. We'll be playing them in Kansas City, which If we play like we did, play like we played last night, it's not looking too good on that front either. But we'll see how things go. But like I said, I'll be recording again later just to, touch on those things, get a little more in-depth analysis on the game once I get Jay on the line. I think he's still asleep right now, man. But peace.